Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Friends, Facts, and Fiction. As always, this podcast is made possible by our local convenience stores, the misappropriation of history, and you. And now to your hosts, Justin Hammonds, Brant Bramlett, and Drew Shellnut.
What's up? What's happening, world? It's a podcast called Friends, Facts, and Fiction. And this is this not a full episode, but like a episode though. You know what I mean?
It's a tweener. I mean, it's not in between seasons, but this is
I swear.
a small boy.
I swear we're going to get into like prohibition. I swear we said it. We're going to do
man.
it.
Which we'll get into that in a second here.
So let's do a quick recap of why we have not did a deep dive on prohibition yet, which is going to be fun because there's a lot of fucking loony bins in the prohibition era, and trust me, you want to hear that. But
actual psych wards, or you're talking about just like crazy ass fucking people?
Looney Tunes, I guess.
Looney Tunes. I like that. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, Looney Tunes.
By the way, this is Justin
well.
Hammonds that introduced the episode, as he always does.
I was about to do that.
And then I'm Grant Bramlett.
Okay, whatever. So yeah, I'm Justin Hammonds looking at Grant Bramlett. And the big homie Drew Shellnut, is currently not with us. He's at work because we're recording on an off day of the studio.
Shit, dude, we're gonna try and get him to call in. I totally forgot about that.
We can.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll text him here.
Just text him and see. We may have Drew pop in later in the episode. Anyway, so.
Oh wait, I don't have my phone.
the whole reason why we've been kind of astray, if you will. I don't know if that's the word, but Grant got COVID.
Yeah. So basically, my wife's grandfather passed away, and then I was playing mad catch up, and finally got caught back up, like with my lawn care landscaping company, and then Monday, which was the day before Justin's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So I went out to the bar with the largest group of friends, and we all had an excellent evening. I felt a little weird that day. I actually took a COVID test, negative. Okay, fine.
Oh, you felt weird before we hung out?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I felt weird. It was negative. And then the following day had a huge like mulch job that you weren't on because it was your actual birthday, and you were doing what I've decided is going to be my birthday present to myself. Fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, my 33rd birthday in November, I am turning my phone off and I am laying down for a vast majority of that day. But anyways.
Yeah, I chilled hard, son.
Dude, I'm so proud of you.
I went and picked up my girl's car, and we had like a drink somewhere, and then came back home.
That's awesome.
And I was like, happy birthday.
Dude, that's so
amazing.
great. Anyways, I sweated my balls off all Tuesday, and then was done, and then we ran out, grabbed a bite to eat, and I was like, geez, my allergies are just going haywire, like just real bad. And then Wednesday morning, Shelly texted us to say that she tested positive for COVID, and I was like, I fucking knew it. And I tested. It was like 2 minutes. The little strip was in the thing, and it was bright red. Like boom, like you got that shit.
You in there, bro? You got some swimmers, my guy.
So it was 5 days of like really weird head colds, bad seasonal allergies mixed with narcolepsy. It was so weird, dude. Like I just kept passing out. I would like wake up, be like, what the fuck just happened? Why? What time is it? Where am I? I'm kind of hungry. And I would like eat a little snack and then pass back out.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
There's days of that shit, dude. It was crazy.
Bro. It happens.
And then the second that I was able to be around people and better again, I guess you got the flu? I don't know.
I don't know what truly happened. So after my birthday, I guess hangout that happened.
Yeah.
On, what was that, Monday?
Yeah.
Was it Monday?
It was last Monday.
Yeah. So after that night, I was fine. I was hungover as shit, but it was a nice hangout. Thank you for everybody that came out. Tales from Walk-In popped up. Thank y'all for coming through. Check out their podcast. Love those guys and gal, Katie, and Vic and Clay.
I didn't see Katie.
Yeah, I ain't seen Katie in a minute.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying just shout out to the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
but
for sure.
Vic and Clay showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. After that, I was just hungover, and I was like, "Fuck it." Another day, worked a week of. I had 2 doubles that week on top of like 3 regular shifts, so a week and a half worth of work in like 5 days, and then Sunday comes, the day before Memorial Day. And get my shit rocked at the bar, Inglewood Lounge. The jam every Sunday night, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Anyway, get our shit rocked because Memorial Day is the next day. So all the normal people are out and all the artists are out. So, and normal people, I mean people that work Monday through Friday, Anyway, so after that Sunday, I woke up Monday sick as fuck, but it was not COVID. And I was like, sick. Like, I'm talking like going through like hot, not sweating, cold but sweating, fucking like muscles tensing and loosening up and like crazy shit. Thank God for Kayla. Love you, girl. That's my baby. And she took care of me, and I bounced back, and we're in the studio now. What, 3 days after?
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where we gotta crank this out so we can put it up literally tomorrow. But
all right, you'll get it tomorrow for us now, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
But our third, who I'm missing dearly, he had to work because his job is, he wasn't planning on ever having to record on Thursdays.
Exactly.
And the one with the actual health issues is the one that's been this whole time, able to do it.
It all started with the pause we had to do for his little hospital visit.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you got sick, then I got sick, and then now it's like, oh, we're recording this week? It's like, I guess like a little mini tweener.
Yeah. I honestly forgot to mention too, our engineer has been in the hospital for like the last 2 days.
Oh, wow.
3 days. Yeah.
Okay. That's news.
So it's like COVID, either some false negatives or getting COVID again, like immediately after, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because you should have antibodies for it.
Like a whole different.
Yeah, maybe.
A fucking COVID
And
Delta
then
Omicron-ish Terminator.
Went to a doc in the box because of a fever of 102.5. They immediately said to go to the ER.
Oh, shit. Yeah, because it's 102, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's...
And then... was stuck in MICU, or like I think it's moderate intensive care unit. I think something like that.
It's the right before.
Yeah, it's the step down.
Yeah.
From
the
ICU.
you're important, but like not VIP.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna die.
You just need some IV plugged in. And
well, crazy AFib shit was going on, so I had like a resting heart rate of 120.
Shit.
Yeah, which is, if you're healthy, it's like 60 to 75.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And so a bunch of medications to try and drop the heart rate down, but then that was putting a severe risk for blood clots, which could turn into a stroke.
Exactly.
And so they were like, well, let's make sure that you can handle blood thinners before we let you go. So released with a prescription for blood thinners and is back home now and doing much better. We spoke today, and I think it's going to be fine, but it's just one of those, like, what the fuck is happening? Everybody's getting sick right now. It's crazy.
I just think we're all getting that summer coat on. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting that summer protectant. It's about time to grind. Everybody's getting those summer jobs, going back home for the summer and all that shit. Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Everybody's just getting ready for the summer, bro. It's like, I'd rather get sick now than deeper into the grind.
Sure.
Sure. Like beginning of July, mid-July, it's a fucking terrible time to get like sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather be grinding it out and getting that money and fucking like get sick in October. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But, we can never predict what happens, and we've been going through a lot. So thank y'all for sticking with us. Thank y'all for still listening. Never forget to give us that 5-star thumbs up. Follow us, Instagram, Spotify, all that. iTunes, Google, whatever, Tune Squad, Core.
We're on all of them.
All the stuff.
Anywhere you're listening to this podcast, we're on this podcast because you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah. And we thank y'all so much for sticking around. But I promise we do have a dope season coming. Like We gotta get back on track. We've been derailed a little bit, but the train is back up. We just got to get back on the tracks, and then we're gonna be good. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah. So we were talking about it. We've got this season mapped out as far as our topics for research are concerned. But, it's never too late or too early, rather, to look ahead, Be thinking about season 6, even.
This is true. We're always looking ahead for season 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 10,
We're
15.
picking up sticks for season 6.
Oh, shit. You already coined the shit. Oh, my God.
Bars.
My boy is ahead of his time out here. But yeah, before we get into this crazy list that I found of things, I think we're going to try to get Drew on. Drew, call Drew. Let's see what we're doing.
Drew, call
I'm calling
Drew.
you. I didn't even tell him I was calling. I said, "You free for a second?" He said, "Yes," and I just called him.
Hey,
oh hey, buddy,
how you doing?
Hey,
there he is.
I'm doing.
I miss you.
Playing Damage Control.
Okay,
that's how it goes. This is Drew Shownut, the other host of this podcast.
Hey,
what's cracking, man?
Just running an electronics store.
There you go. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
This is
Feet on the ground.
This is Drew's job of the day of the week. He's at Electronic Express
job of the
now.
day of the week. Hey, that sucks.
Nah, it's all good, bro.
Hopefully, it's the job of the day of the year.
Hey,
I hope so too, man. In all seriousness,
you know, they say a jack of all trades is a master of none, but it's better than a master of one.
Ooh,
hey,
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So don't forget the other half of that. But anyway, we're going to go through this list of ideas, Drew, for our podcast in the future. Some of these are a little wordy, but...
clearly, Justin's got his recording voice on because we are actually recording the episode as we speak.
So, this is the list of topics that we may could cover. After sacking the city of Antioch in 540 CE, Sansanian Emperor Khosrow built a new city that looked almost exactly the same and called it Antioch Khosrow, which translates roughly to Khosrow made a city better than Antioch.
Wait, what?
Interesting story.
He just ripped a city down and then built the same city. It was like, this one's better.
Yeah, because I built it. Because I built it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one.
A humble man.
Yeah, very humble
say.
man.
Yeah.
Another one is the 1904 Olympics.
I love this one so much. So I'm actually going to read a little Smithsonian article about it after we're done with our list because it's fucking amazing. Drew, you heard about that? The 1904 Olympics?
No.
It's awesome.
Oh, so
we'll cover it here in a sec.
In St. Louis, it was held in St. Louis, and the marathon of the 1904 Olympics was a total mess. The first place finisher did most of the race in a car. The guy in second almost died from eating rat poison.
Yeah.
And the fourth place finisher raced in dress pants and shoes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And took a nap by the side of the road for part of the race.
Yeah, he was actually in the lead for most of it. He was this Italian guy, and he kept stopping to like ask people for like their food or some water or some money and stuff like that. But he barely spoke English, and people were like, "What the fuck? Who is this fucking Italian guy in dress pants and dress shoes running the route of the marathon? And why is he asking me for my orange?" Like,
first of all, he's a pioneer because now they just have water kiosk stations. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. He's ahead of his time.
Yeah, he's ahead of his time,
Yeah.
bro. He was like, bro, I'm a time traveler. They do this in 2010. What's going on?
Yeah, but that was really a tortoise and hare situation. He was in the lead for most of the race, and then he stopped and took a nap and finished in fourth because of it.
That's fucking wild.
Wow.
So I'm ahead of these fools. I'm taking a quick little breather.
Don't mind if I cut through the middle, do you?
Yeah. So the third one is there was a cat who started in the Nazi Navy in World War II.
What?
Yeah.
Like a house cat?
Yeah, like just a regular fucking cat.
Who translated his articles of formation?
I don't know, but he's in the Nazi Navy. Then he became a ship's cat in the British Royal Navy, and survived 3 sinking ships during his naval service.
Holy shit! So he
Wow.
switched
He
sides.
switched sides.
Survived
switched.
that,
Gang,
and
gang.
then survives shipwrecks. That's
bro,
amazing.
Reincarnation is real, kid. Anyway,
Wow.
Cats.
It also proves that you can move from the dark side.
exactly. Ooh, that's a word. Kutulun, a descendant of Genghis Khan, refused to marry unless her suitor could beat her in a wrestling match. Nobody ever defeated her.
Oh,
It's a dope story.
I want that one. Drew, you take the cat
Yeah.
one. I'm gonna take that one. That was badass.
The Polish army enlisted a bear as a soldier during World War II. Of course.
Oh, of course they did.
Number 6.
Might as well.
Yeah, why not? A woman named Violet Giuseppe survived not only the sinking of the Titanic, but also the destruction of both of the Titanic's sister ships. What?
Okay, hold on. She got back on?
What? Yeah, after the Titanic, bro, I wouldn't get back
Dude.
on a ship in my life. Cuz.
No, especially one made by the same fucking company.
Bro,
Fuck that.
No, I'd be scared of planes, boats, all that shit. Fuck all that. 7. Robert Liston, a surgeon in the 1800s, performed an operation with a 300% mortality rate. Instead of saving the patient, he killed 3 people. What?
Did
What?
I need more information?
I don't know what's going on here. What the fuck? Okay, so Liston was renowned for being one of the fastest surgeons alive.
Okay.
Which at the time was a very good thing. Anesthesia.
Sure, yeah.
Anesthesia, as we know it, didn't exist.
Right, they weren't down.
Yeah,
Like,
so patients were awake for
Yeah.
the entire procedure.
Right.
Meaning the shorter it was, the better. Liston was performing a leg amputation, but worked so fast that it accidentally cut off 2 fingers on his assistant's hand. Both the patient and the assistant died later of gangrene.
Oh my
Oh my
god! Wait, where's the
God.
third person?
I'm about to get to it.
Oh, okay, great.
Most likely due to the saw being unclean. What about the third death? Well, doctors and other spectators would often watch these surgeries from the gallery. It was like a fucking amphitheater, which was much more up close and personal than medical galleries today. During the procedure, Liston accidentally swiped near an elderly doctor with a blade, slicing the fabric of the doctor's suit.
God.
Thinking he had been cut open, the doctor went into shock and died of subsequent heart attack. Jesus Christ. So he died from like a placebo pill.
yeah.
A placebo knife.
That was a placebo death right there.
That's
That's
fucking
awesome.
crazy,
That's
bro.
so good.
That's great.
Another one. Twice the U.S. and the USSR were likely saved from all-out nuclear war by just one person. Wow. That's a longer article than I want to read right now.
Sure, that sounds
yeah.
like it sounds like a topic we would cover. Though.
Yeah, of course. We're definitely I'm gonna look into that for sure. And if listeners, if any of these are interesting to you, just email us and we'll cover them. And we will look into it.
Friends.
So that's
I
what-
do
Facts,
think
dot
I do
fiction.
think
That's
that
what we do here.
we definitely need to, and I think I was going to hit on this on one of the earlier episodes that we did this season. The island right off of South Carolina that's part of South Carolina
Yeah.
that we should definitely hit on because it's one of the only places in the U.S. with monkeys.
That's right.
Are you talking Gullah Island, bro?
No, it's I can't remember the name of the island.
That's a real place.
It's
Wait, are
actually
you
called.
fucking
I
kidding
think,
me?
Gullah people are
Gullah Gullah Island is.
Oh yeah. No,
it's a real place.
my
That's
mother,
awesome.
my mother-in-law is actually from there.
Yeah.
That's actually where Karen's from.
Oh,
Yeah,
we've
that's
had
real
this
shit.
conversation.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Wow, you can
They
tell how
have some,
tired I am.
they have some
Jesus.
dank ass food out
Yeah.
there, bro. Their food is fucking anyway. But yes, we definitely should cover that.
That could be your creature
Yep.
corner, bitch.
Yeah, Chris want a bitch.
Bitch.
Mm-mm. All right, number 9. An entire town in Nevada basically invented the concept of the Wild Wild West by staging gunfights, bank robberies, and Western cliches from the 1800s dime novels. Wow. I did not know that.
That's awesome.
They staged
Yeah.
the shit. To
I'm not
make it-
surprised,
that's
but I love it.
You know, you
That's
get
pretty great.
people to come there. If
Yeah.
there's like, crime or morbid shit, people flock to that shit. Ernest Hemingway's younger brother started his own country, on a raft in international waters near Jamaica and named it New Atlantis.
Ooh. I like that.
Ernest Hemingway is a fucking wild dude.
Yeah, he's weird, dude.
He's crazy. So I'm sure his brother was fucking nuts too. Mad Jack Churchill, a British Army officer during World War II, was famous for going into battle with a longbow, a broadsword, and bagpipes. Yeah, just went into battle, man. Ready to
With
go.
some bagpipes?
Cool.
Ready to go, cuz.
If nothing, you can annoy him to death.
I mean, I guess that's what he wanted to do. I mean, apparently he miraculously survived multiple battles. So,
What is this atonal bullshit?
Well,
You know?
God, I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna go over there. I'm tired of this guy.
yeah.
So,
Battle 1.
So this is the last one, which, what? At one point, the makers of Pepsi had the 6th largest military in the world.
Wait. What?
Bruh. What?
You know what? Let's just leave that.
I'm gonna
And
drop
we're
that
gonna
right
do
there.
a full goddamn episode
I'm gonna
on
drop
that.
that right there because that is
Damn,
wild.
that is
son.
cool.
6th largest military in the world. Makers of Pepsi. What the fuck? I didn't. What, like, it's shit like this, bro. Shouts out to
Yep.
BuzzFeed for the 12 truly weird historical events.
Yeah, that's great.
What the fuck?
That's
bro?
good for our little workshop there.
Yeah, it's nice. And, for the listeners to see what we talk about when we meet up, basically.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
Shit like this.
Yeah.
We dive a lot deeper into the topics, but,
That's not as fun
Tis
as our
what it is.
brainstorming sessions. So I really absolutely. So Justin texted me like the little BuzzFeed thing, and then immediately said the 1904 Olympics looks pretty funny, and I was like, dude, it's fucking hysterical. A podcast like a whole bunch of the Dollop is very popular. But they did like an hour and a half on it. So I figured I would just read a Smithsonian article just because they already did it. Go listen to their episode. They did it as good as, probably a little better than we would do it. So, you know.
it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but this is a Smithsonian Magazine article by Karen Abbott. The 1904 Olympic Marathon may have been the strangest ever. In 1904, St. Louis hosted the Olympic Games as part of the World's Fair and produced a spectacle that incorporated all the mischief of the Midway. America's first Olympics may have been its worst, or at the very least, its most bizarre. Held in 1904 in St. Louis, the Games were tied to that year's World Fair, which celebrated the centennial of the Louisiana Purchase while advancing, as did all such turn-of-the-century expositions, the notion of American imperialism. Although there were moments of surprising and genuine triumph, like gymnast George Iser earned 6 medals, including 3 gold, despite his wooden leg.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a beat.
Shouts out to amputees being gangsters.
The games were largely overshadowed by the fair itself, which offered its own roster of sporting events, including the controversial Anthropology Days, in which a group of quote-unquote savages recruited from the fair's international villages competed in a variety of athletic feats. Amongst that, a greased pole climb, quote-unquote ethnic dancing, and mudslinging for the amusement of the Caucasian spectators.
Yeah, we can go
Oh my God.
Go and slide up out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole concept behind it, and they might cover it in the article, but the whole concept behind it was the guy that like put all this together was absolutely convinced that white people were the top of the athletic like totem pole, if you will, right? And so his way of trying to prove it was taking non-English speaking people from tribal villages and shit around the world and then just throwing them into these events, having no idea what to do. There's one where they were like running a sprint and they all stopped at the tape thinking that was the finish line, not knowing that they should go, like run through it. Because I mean, if you don't
can give a
know
man a
how
fish,
it works,
teach him how to fish. Then what the fuck?
yeah, if you don't
You
know
know what I
how
mean?
it works, you don't know that you're supposed to run through it. I mean, that seems like the logical conclusion to make. Is like, oh, this is where I stop.
Exactly.
You know. Also, some of them like didn't run at all. Some of them just wandered away in the wrong direction
okay,
just because they
cool.
didn't know. And all these white people were like, oh, look at these dumb savages, not even knowing how to run in a straight line. It's like, bitch, you didn't tell them to do that.
Yeah.
You just put them there and shot a gun. Literally,
It's
that's
like-
what they did.
Yeah, this is how they do
It
it.
is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to our article. Pierre de Coubertin or Coubertin, I don't know, fuck whatever, a French historian and founder of the International Olympic Committee, took disapproving note of the spectacle and made a prescient observation. As for that outrageous charade, it will, of course, lose its appeal when black men, red men, and yellow men learn to run, jump, and throw and leave the white men behind them. So... right idea, still very 1904 languaging.
yeah, for the most part, yes.
The Olympic signal event, the marathon, was conceived to honor the classical heritage of Greece and underscore the connection between the ancient and the modern. But from the start of the 1904 marathon was less showstopper than sideshow, a freakish spectacle that seemed more in keeping with the carnival atmosphere of the fair than the reverential mood of the games. The outcome was so scandalous that the event was nearly abolished for good. So we almost lost the idea of competitive marathons because of this.
Yeah, I could imagine, because this shit is fucking wild.
So a few of the runners were recognized marathoners who had either won or placed in the Boston Marathon or had placed in previous Olympic marathons, but the majority of the field was composed of middle-distance runners and assorted oddities. Americans Sam Meller, A.L. Newton, John Lorden, Michael Spring, and Thomas Hicks, all experienced marathoners, were among the favorites. Another American, Fred Lors, did all his training at night because he had a day job as a bricklayer and earned his spot in the Olympics by placing in a special 5-mile race sponsored by the Amateur Athletic Union. Among the leading oddities were 10 Greeks who had never run a marathon, 2 men of the Sasana tribe of South Africa who were in St. Louis as part of the South African World's Fair exhibit and who arrived at the starting line barefoot, and a Cuban national and former mailman named Felix Carbajal, I believe, who raised money to come to the States by demonstrating his running prowess throughout Cuba, once trekking the length of the island itself. Upon his arrival in New Orleans, he lost all his money on a dice game and had to walk and hitchhike to St. Louis. This is the guy I was talking about earlier. Sorry, he was Cuban, not Italian.
Jesus Christ.
5 feet tall, he presented a slight but striking figure at the starting line, attired in a white long-sleeved button-up shirt, long dark pants, a beret, and a pair of street shoes, which for us these days would be dress shoes.
Yeah. Some hard bottoms, guys.
Yeah, exactly. One fellow Olympian took pity, found a pair of scissors, and cut his trousers at the knee.
It's hot out here, bro. Some air up in there.
On August 30th, at precisely 3:03 p.m., David R. Francis, president of the Louisiana Purchase Exposition Company, fired the starting pistol, and the men were off. Heat and humidity soared into the 90s, and the 24.85-mile course, which one fair official called the most difficult a human being has ever asked to run over, wound across roads inches deep in dust. There were 7 hills varying from 100 to 300 feet high, some with brutally long ascents, and many places cracked stone was strewn across the roadway, creating a perilous footing. And the men had to constantly dodge cross-town traffic, delivery wagons, railroad trains, trolley cars, and people walking their dogs. So they didn't shut the course down. They were just like,
block
hey,
off. Like, hey, just run through the city,
way.
Bro. Yeah. I could just make it back here. Run that way and make it back here, bro. Yeah.
Jesus.
There were only 2 places where athletes could secure fresh water, from a water tower at 6 miles and a roadside well at 12 miles. James Sullivan, the chief organizer of the games, wanted to minimize fluid intake to test the limits and effects of purposeful dehydration, a common area of research at the time. Cars carrying...
being drunk? Anyway.
Cars carrying coaches and physicians motored alongside the runners, kicking the dust up and launching coughing spells. Fred Lors led the 32 starters from the gun, but by the first mile, Thomas Hicks edged ahead. William Garcia of California nearly became the first fatality of an Olympic marathon when he collapsed on the side of the road and was hospitalized with hemorrhaging. The dust had coated his esophagus and ripped his stomach lining.
Jesus Christ.
Had he gone unaided for an hour longer, he might have bled to death. John Lorden suffered a bout of vomiting and gave up. Lin Tao of the South African participants was chased a mile off course by wild dogs.
Holy fuck.
Felix Carvajal trotted along in his cumbersome shoes and billowing shirt, making good time even though he paused to chat with spectators in broken English. On one occasion, he stopped a car, saw that its occupants were eating peaches, and he asked for one. Being refused, he playfully snatched two and ate them as he ran.
There you go. Turn up.
A bit further along the course, he stopped at an orchard, snacked on some apples, which turned out to be rotten. So, suffering from stomach cramps, he laid down and took a nap.
That's why he took a nap, heard.
Sam Meller, who is now in the lead, also experienced severe cramping. He slowed to a walk and eventually stopped. At the 9-mile mark, cramps also plagued Lors, who decided to hitch a ride in one of the accompanying automobiles, waving at spectators and fellow runners as he passed.
Hey, I'm in the race, bro, but like they offered me a ride, so I mean, what I'm supposed to do with that? I mean,
Hicks, one of the early America favorites, came under the care of a 2-man support crew at the 10-mile mark. He begged them for a drink, but they refused, instead sponging out his mouth with warm distilled water. 7 miles from the finish, his handlers fed him a concoction of strychnine and egg whites.
Oh.
What?
I don't know. The first recorded instance of drug use in the modern Olympics.
The Rocky mix right there?
Oh, shit. Crazy. Strychnine in small doses was commonly used as a stimulant back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And at the time, there were no rules about performance-enhancing drugs. So the Hicks team carried a flask of French brandy, but decided to withhold it until they could gauge the runner's condition. So basically,
So they were drinking. They were drinking Coca-Cola like a motherfucker.
Yeah, seriously. If the strychnine didn't work, they had brandy.
Yeah, it's like, if don't get him, we got you, bro. That's fucking nuts, man.
Meanwhile, Lors recovered from his cramps, emerging from his 11-mile ride in the automobile. One of Hicks's handlers saw him and ordered him off the course, but Lors kept running and finished with a time of just under 3 hours.
Hell yeah, son. Turn up.
The crowd roared and began chanting, "An All-American won."
Wow. Yeah, that's some American shit. Find a way around. What's the loophole? I don't want to go the whole way.
Oh, shit. Check
Make
this out.
this easy.
Alice Roosevelt, the 20-year-old daughter of President Theodore Roosevelt, placed a wreath upon Lors' head and was just about to lower the golden medal around his neck when one witness reported, "Someone called an indignant halt to the proceedings with the charge that Lors was an imposter."
Wow.
The cheers turned into boos. Lors smiled and claimed that he had never intended to accept the honor. He just finished only for the sake of a joke.
So this is all a big practical joke for the homie. He wasn't even trying to win. That's crazy.
Hicks, the strychnine coursing through his blood, had grown ashen and limp. When he heard that Lors had been disqualified, he perked up and forced his legs into a trot. His trainers gave him another dose of strychnine and egg whites, this time with some brandy to wash it down. They fetched warm water and soaked his body and head. What? After the bathing, he appeared to revive and quicken his pace. Interesting. Over the last 2 miles of the road, wrote race official Charles Lucas, Hicks was running mechanically, like a well-oiled piece of machinery. His eyes were dull, lusterless. The ashen color of his face and skin had deepened. His arms appeared as weights, well tied down. He could scarcely lift his legs, while his knees were almost stiff.
So they just made a robot out of this motherfucker.
He began hallucinating, believing that the finish line was still 20 miles away. In the last mile, he begged for something to eat. He begged to lie down. He was given more brandy, but refused tea. He swallowed 2 more egg whites. He walked up the first of the last 2 hills and jogged down on the incline. Swinging into the stadium, he tried to run but was reduced to a graceless shuffle. His trainers carried him over the line, holding him aloft while his feet moved back and forth. So his 2 trainers had literally picked him up by the shoulders or by his armpits, and he was just moving his feet above the ground.
Wow.
I'm doing it. Look, I'm doing it.
And he was declared the winner.
That's fucking nuts, bro.
It took 4 doctors and 1 hour for Hicks to feel well enough just to leave the grounds. He had lost 8 pounds during the course of the race and declared, "Never in my life have I run such a tough course. The terrific hills simply tear a man to pieces." Hicks and Lors would meet again at the Boston Marathon the following year, which Lors run without the aid of anything but his legs.
Oh, look at that.
How fun.
They gave up the car. Fucking 1904 Olympics, bro. What the fuck is that?
Dude, the 1904 Olympics itself is fucking hysterical. This is just one game, and that's how bad it went. Right?
With the World's Fair going on, they're already trying to hustle people and scapegoat shit. So they just turned the Olympics into a fucking sideshow, basically.
Yeah, so it was basically
fair. That's what it sounds like to me.
They tried to make the Olympics itself as long as the World Fairs, which is like 6 months.
Yeah,
and
it was like a whole summer, bro.
So people would come from different countries and just wait, stay as long as they could, and then they would just leave because who the fuck is going to travel from another nation to St. Louis, of all places, and stay for several months just to watch athletes do what they do?
Well, St. Louis was a great place for trade for a long time because
they were also super low on They were trying to stretch it, basically, so they were running out of things. At one point, they actually just sold tickets to a high school track meet.
Just come see something. Just come here. A city begging for fucking economic boom. They're just begging for it. Well, yeah.
Hey guys, I probably need to unask the area and get back to it.
Absolutely, buddy. Thank you for your time.
Man. Appreciate you.
Love you guys.
Love you, man.
Love you too, man.
All right. Bye.
Peace.
What an asshole that Drew. Just kidding.
Drew Shells.
I might do the 1904 Olympics. I honestly just listen to the Dollop episode. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like we said, we will, fingers crossed, nothing happens in the next fucking 4 days. We'll record the first episode of the Prohibition 3-episode dive that we're doing. We're going to do the pre, the height, and the effects. So look forward to that. And then after that, a lot is coming.
Yeah, man. We're a Gold Rush one I'm excited about.
The Gold Rush is coming too.
I'm excited about that one.
Too. Yeah, you're right. Well, thank y'all for listening, man. This has been a tweener episode. Number will be on the thing. We love y'all. Like I said, don't forget to give us that 5-star, that thumbs up, and all that good shit. Anyway, I'm Justin Hemmons. I'm saying live life because it's worth living, y'all.
And Drew Shelnut would say either, read books and be nice to people, or something weird or dark or, irreverent. And then I'm Grant Bramlett. And, if you stuck in here listening to this bullshit episode and the little greatest hits thing we had to put out last week, I always loved you. If you want people to run really long distances and refuse to give them water, I never liked you.
Facts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty solid on that one there for sure. But especially in the fucking heat of the fucking summertime. Anyway, we love y'all, man. Stay positive, be blessed, stay beautiful. This has been a podcast called Friends, Facts, and Fiction, and we out.
Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next installment. Find us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on all things Friends, Facts, and Fiction. Our Instagram handle is friends_facts_fiction. As always, please reach out to us. You can send any of your questions, praise, and fact-checking to friends_facts_fiction@gmail.com. It's important to us to only propagate the truth, and we'll correct any errors we may have made. Your hosts and researchers are Justin Hammonds, Grant Bramlett, and Drew Shelnut. Our episodes are produced by Grant Bramlett. Additional producership provided by Grace Higgs. Our recording engineer is Grant Bramlett. Our editor, mix, and mastering audio engineer is Jeremy Mulder. Lighting design is provided by Justin Hammonds. This has been a production of Friends, Facts, and Fiction.